A word of advice, adventurer. While this audio role-playing game is fully playable on any device, there is beautiful artwork and other gameplay information displayed throughout the game. Feel free to try it out on a screen-enabled device to utilize these graphical elements. Now then, are you ready to proceed? This is the land of Kate, where dwarves, elves, and trolls walk side by side with humankind. The land is once again in turmoil as the central city of Scarabray is undergoing changes. The oppression against the non-human races, the members of the Adventurers Guild, and all things magic is escalating. A street urchin sits in one of the many alleys in the bustling city, their path astray. The youth watches, as so many times before, the flow of people through the small corridor. Their stomach starts rumbling, hunger twisting and tearing as it makes itself known again. A large shadow is suddenly cast over the alley as a cloaked figure approaches.
Greetings, young one. I go by the name Sabble the Seeker. I seek out individuals that have fallen from the path laid out for them, and the threads I cast have led me to you. Say, if you could see a different future for yourself, what do you see? Do you see yourself weaving magic? Perhaps protecting others? Maybe a life of deception? Or singing inspiring songs? Ready to put your own life at risk in order to defend others. A noble trait indeed.
The youth reflected on this. This would set you on the path of the frontline fighter. Your first-class ability would be Taunt, an ability which, when used in combat, will force all opponents to take a step forwards. Are you sure you want to live out the rest of your adventures as a fighter?
Interesting. For some time now, I've gathered individuals, not unlike yourself, in a new town down south. There is still a lot of work to be done, but it's shaping up nicely. Unfortunately, the town is suffering from hardship right now, and you are the one who can help. My ship, the Adir, is waiting at the docks. Just state my name to the captain. Seek out the Adventurers Guild when you arrive. Oh, and before I forget, take this.
You have just received your inventory. You can open it by saying "Open Inventory" when the opportunity arrives. All of the sudden, two men brandishing swords stop at the mouth of the alley, discussing something between themselves, while glancing over at the two of you.
We are out of time. I will hold them off. You have to make it to the docks.
No, just look at them. Scrawny and...
Not wanting to get caught up in the situation, you grab the bag and start running, leaving the commotion behind you. The last supplies are being loaded onto the Adir as you find it. And standing at the foot of the gangplank, a woman inspects a list.
Halt. What business brings you here? Let me guess. Sabble sent you. Well, before you can board, I need to fill in this form. A captain worth her coin needs at all time to know what she has aboard her ship. What is your name?
You can't remember ever having a name, but you have heard the street urchins of Scarabray being referred to as pigeon children.
What? Pigeon child. That's not very flattering. You could at least choose a different bird. Let's see. Maybe crow, raven, hawk, or sparrow. Very well then, raven. I must admit, I quite like the sound of that nickname.
The captain notes it down and looks up at you.
That should be all. Feel free to board. We're leaving within the hour.
A life spent living on firm land has not prepared you for the journey at sea. You soon find your assigned spot, under deck. The constant rocking, combined with the stench of sweat and sea salt, keep you close to your bunk bed. You struggle to adjust to the dim light. Try saying, "Look around," to inspect your surroundings closer. You will find that noteworthy things around you are highlighted by this signal. Interact with these highlighted objects by using any of the following key phrases. Look at, talk to, pick up, or use. For example, use door, or look at bed. You can also talk with your companions by saying talk to companion. Your eyes start to adjust to the dim light, and you take in your surroundings. You see your bunk bed and chest, assigned to you by the captain. The other passengers seemingly find themselves in the same miserable state as you, except an elven bard, rhythmically swaying while thrumming his lute. You should try to go to sleep, as the journey is long and you could use some shut-eye, though you also have some time to explore your surroundings. Well then, what do you want to do? You open the chest and find a pillow. You gain 3 experience points and gain a dirty pillow. You need a total of 10 experience points to level up. In order to level up, win a combat. The elven bard leans over.
Look at that! Yours barely has any stains.
Lucky you. I will just have to ignore the brown spots on mine. Anyhow, a good nap should make this trip a whole lot more bearable.
Well then, what do you want to do? You see your bunk bed and chest, assigned to you by the captain. The other passengers seemingly find themselves in the same miserable state as you, except an elven bard, rhythmically swaying while thrumming his lute. You should try to go to sleep, as the journey is long and you could use some shut-eye, though you also have some time to explore your surroundings. Well then, what do you want to do? None of the passengers are eager to have a conversation with you. Maybe the stench isn't coming from the quarters. Well then, what do you want to do?
Do you know where we are going? They call it Sinner's Refuge, or Lurch Found. A place to call home, for it is no longer welcome in Scarabray. I, for one, can't wait to head back. The people of Scarabray are getting too stingy. Do you know how hard it is to play for petty coin when they've heard your songs 1,000 times over?
What do you want to do? As it turns out, inanimate objects are not great conversationalists. When you're done exploring, try saying, "Use bed" to advance this tutorial. Well then. What do you want to do? Going around picking up people would be a quick way to find yourself in trouble. Well then. What do you want to do? Going around picking up people would be a quick way to find yourself in trouble. When you're done exploring, try saying, "Use bed" to advance this tutorial. Well then. What do you want to do? The chest is secured to the bunk bed. Better let it be where it is. Well then. What do you want to do? The lanky elf is wearing a white, threadbare shirt and a lilac jacket that has been patched more than once. You also reflect that this is the first time you have seen an elf wearing a hat. When you're done exploring, try saying, "Use bed" to advance this tutorial. Well then. What do you want to do?